Go. So can you see my screen?
Yeah, now, yes.
Okay. So today we'll be discussing interfaces and uses of it. Okay.
Okay.
And so to start with it, we'll create a new project here, day 3. Okay. Alt Shift N, and see it's not showing me Java project here, so I have to create a new project from here, other, and Java project. Yes. So day 3. Okay, so to start with it, wait a second. So we'll create a new class. No, we'll start with the interface directly. Okay, so new and interface, say phone.
Okay.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so in this interface we declare two variables, int, say not variables, two functions, say uh, call and recharge. Okay, now see, it has two functions. Now this is the interface, so we'll create a new class and say which implements this phone interface. So let's say class name is Android phone. Okay, so in this class we say implements phone. Now see, it is suggesting me that we have some unimplemented methods.
Okay.
Okay, so now it is asking us to implement those. So say we write here Android calling feature, and in the same way Android recharge feature. Okay, and in the same way we'll create a new class, say Apple phone. Now it also implements the same interface, and implements
MEN.
implements phone. Okay, now it is again asking me to add those unimplemented methods. So here what we'll do is Apple calling and Apple recharge. Now see, now we'll create a new class which accesses these two classes, say test phone. Okay, now in test phone, say we need main function right now. So in this class, if we say we declare an object of Android phone. Okay, Android phone and phn. Okay, so if we do access the same function dot call and dot recharge. Okay, and on the other hand we declare apples object. Okay, now in this case, if we access the same functions we declared in phone interface. Okay, so okay, so when we run this, it is showing us Android calling feature and Apple calling feature. This was the function, these functions were defined here but were described in both of the classes.
Yes.
Okay, so on the same way, if we say if we want to,
Can you click on phone.java once?
yeah, so see, and there are only functions defined, we have not described those functions here.
Okay.
Okay,
I
we have just like made a rule that yeah, these functions need to be defined by the implementing classes. Sorry, described with by the implementing classes. So these two classes are implementing the phone class. C implements phone, and now these classes are overriding that, and these classes are defining their own functionality.
Yeah.
So in the same way, if we start with say dynamic browser, okay, so to start with it, we'll create a new class, dynamic browser. My keyboard is little problematic, please don't mind.
No, no worries.
Okay, so we'll start with it, and we need main function here. So right now, say if we want to use different browsers according to our need, okay, and say we'll start directly, say string say browser name. Okay, and right now say if we want to use Mozilla. Okay, and to start with it, let's say if browser name dot equals Mozilla. We'll start with Chrome. Okay, and say I don't know what happened here. Okay, leave it. So if the browser name is Chrome, then Chrome driver. Oh, I forgot to add Java jar files here. Okay, so I'll add jar files here. Java build path, libraries, add external jars, and those jars would be somewhere in this drive, and developer tools, Selenium, and yeah, jars and Selenium. Okay, right now I'm having 3.6. I'll download the latest version soon. Okay, okay, so I've added all those. There's not much difference right now in these versions, so we can use the older version also. So Chrome driver and new say driver equals to new Chrome driver, and we need to provide the system path for also. System dot set property, and that is WebDriver dot Chrome dot driver. Okay, and the path is this WebDriver, and say Chrome driver. I'll pick it from here. Okay, so I'll just paste the path here, and we need to mention it like this. We need to use double slashes to mention the path. Okay, and sorry, and the file name was Chrome driver .exe. Now this is done, and say if we want to open google.com. Okay, and in the same way, else if, and we'll copy this. Okay, and say in the condition here Mozilla. Okay, and again Firefox, sorry, Firefox driver is equal to new Firefox driver. Okay, and in the same way we'll just change the little things here, and I'll just copy this code. So say fire and here the path was Firefox driver, and I'll change it here directly, driver, and Gecko driver.exe. Okay, now right now we have two option to use two browsers. So when I run this code, it will open Mozilla right now, and see it has started loading Mozilla.
Okay.
And now it is trying to open Google. I don't know what happened. Might be there is some issue. Yeah, and there is some issue. Native method, native instruction, Selenium WebDriver driver. Oh, see, I forgot to mention protocol here. So it does not open any website until or unless we mention the protocol. Okay. See, and now when I run this code, it will open a new instance of browser. So I have to close this one, and it has opened it, and now it is trying to open Google. Okay. So I'll just close it right now, and say this is a lengthy code. Now what if we try to use interface? So see, in this page, if we go to Selenium hq.org and we go to Java docs and say we are using Firefox. Okay, so Firefox driver here. Okay, now see, all implementing interfaces, it is implementing WebDriver interface here. Okay, so to start with it, if we go to, like, now I've opened WebDriver interface, and these are the classes which are implementing this interface. Okay, now if I change my code to this, okay, like I'll declare this outside, say here, and this one again here. Right now the lines of code are equal, but where did it mention? Okay, see, if we change it a little. Say right now if we change this and we remove this Chrome driver class from here and Firefox driver class from here, and we remove this part and place it here. Okay.
Okay.
And in the same way, okay, so now it becomes something like this. Now if we use interface and WebDriver driver equals to null. Okay, now if we mention this here, like still we are using Mozilla. Okay, and I'll run this code. Now it has started loading Mozilla. Now the lines of code has changed, and we need not to mention everything in the particular if condition. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So see, we just mentioned the driver which has which this object reference has to use. Okay, we've just provided the object and it is using that object accordingly. So see, if we change it to Chrome, it will open Chrome now.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, Chrome has opened. Okay, and
Okay.
see now if we wanted to say, like, if we had to use like many functions, like see, this was just opening a website. So in case where we wanted to have so many actions, if we wanted to implement so many actions, we couldn't, because in this way the lines of code would increase and the application would get heavy.
Yeah.
Okay, so in this way we did this. Okay, and now coming back to it, test phone. Say we made a phone interface here. So what we can do is, instead of doing this, we'll declare a new string variable which tells us the phone right now is an Android. Okay, and again the if statement, if phone dot equals Apple and say say phn dot call. Okay, and before that phn equal to new Android phone. Okay, and we declare the object reference as phone phn equals null. Okay,
Okay.
and we don't call it here, and else if and again okay, and here Android. Okay, and phn equals to new Android phone, and I made a mistake here. We needed Apple phone here. Okay,
Okay. Double time it is done.
yeah, so now I'll comment out all this code. Okay, and what I'll do is I'll just call phn dot call and phn dot recharge. Okay, and when I run this code, it is showing me Android calling feature and Android recharge feature. So here
Yeah.
if I change this to Apple, and when I run it, it will show me Apple calling and Apple recharge. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
now what if the phone has defined only these two functions, and Apple has its own functionality as iMaps. Okay, okay, so and we'll define it as an Apple Maps feature. Okay, now when we try to execute it, like if we want to call that function phn dot imaps, see we are not even getting any suggestions for it because we cannot call it directly. We can call the functions with the object of a like object reference of a web interface. We can call those functions only which the interface has defined. Okay, so right now this function is a proprietary function. To
Mm-hmm.
access it, we need to use the other method, the method we used earlier. Okay, and
Mm-hmm.
I'll comment out the whole code. Okay, and say now here if I try to access iMaps, I can access it. Okay, and if I run it, I can access that function. Like, so this is a proprietary function. We cannot access it with the help of a object reference from interface. Okay, interface can call only those functions which are defined by that interface. Okay,
Okay.
so this is done. Wait a second. So other we can do is, did I tell you about Java docs, how to add Java docs to jars?
No.
Okay, so we will do that also. Now see here it is not suggesting us anything like any method we can use.
Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay. One thing. Yeah, you have shown me.
I've showed you. Okay, so this was our today's lecture. I've told you about web drivers, like how to use it, use those WebDriver interface and interfaces. Okay, do you have any queries?
Right now, no questions.
Okay,
Yeah.
so tomorrow we'll be discussing Selenium works, how Selenium works on page source, analyzing page source, and I prefer Firebug and Firefox to use in future we'll be using XPaths. So will I prefer Firebug, okay, and we'll be using like tags and attribute matrix, okay, class attributes, web element interface, okay. So this is what we'll be discussing tomorrow.
Oh,
Okay. Do you want to change time if you like? I felt like you wanted to change time.
I mean, if you can make it like around 9:30 my time,
9:30
that
your
would
time. That means
but 10:30, 11 for you. Is it okay with you?
uh, I'll try.
Can you
I'll tell
check?
you tomorrow. I'll try and I'll tell you by mail. Okay. If it's
No
possible, I'll
problem.
schedule the
Even
meeting
if you don't
accordingly.
change,
Okay.
even if you don't change also, like that is fine with me. I'll try to
Okay.
attend this that event. Yeah,
Okay.
not a problem. Hmm?
Okay. No issues.
Yeah. If it is possible,
I,
the
I'll inform
the
you by
reason
mail.
is the my main thing is like I come home around 7 o'clock
Okay.
immediately. For me, I need to do a little bit of home side work also and get into right. So for that purpose, I'm asking.
Okay.
Even otherwise, also for like we can continue with this class.
Okay, I'll inform you and I'll tell you by the evening, to my evening, okay, and I'll mail you accordingly, okay?
Not a problem. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay, take care. See you tomorrow.